Hello everyone, welcome to my live free training, which is all about showing up on socials. This was specific to the feedback you guys gave me. I think over 50% of you asked for this lesson. So I thought, let's prioritize it. Let's get onto it now. So first up, if you need a freebie to help you make sure what I'm teaching you today actually happens and you put it into plan, put it into action, all you need to do is comment on this live with the word show up and you will get this amazing resource straight to your inbox, ready to start showing up. So let's get into it. If you have questions, let me know throughout. But yes, if you want this document straight up to help you make sure you actually show up in 2025, just comment on the live show up and you'll get it straight to your inbox. Amazing. So showing up. Let's start with why is it important? I think a lot of you are realizing, yes, it's important, but it's such an intimidating thought, isn't it? It is not where Instagram was, 5 years ago, 10 years ago when we were using Instagram. We didn't have to do this. But now, at the state of play, 12 years in, absolutely showing up, you as the artist, you as a creative on social media, on Instagram, is the way you are going to generate more sales, convert more loyal clients, and get more new clients as well. So it is the number one sales strategy or marketing strategy and the most effective, in my opinion, especially in our niche. Now, let's just take a step back and talk about your audience and I guess when they see your content. So we're thinking about your dream, your ideal customer, someone that's following you, and they're scrolling through their phone, looking at their feed. The strongest, most powerful social brand signal that you can be doing that's going to stop that scroll and for them to look at your content, pause the scroll and actually look and take in your message. The most powerful way of doing that is seeing you as the artist. It is way more effective than focusing on after hair, way more effective than posting the salon details. The most powerful way to stop that scroll is seeing a human, seeing you. All the stats don't lie around this. If you look at your most liked posts, engaged posts, I guarantee you there was that signal of seeing you. I also want to flag straight up that showing up in content does not necessarily mean you have to talk in front of the camera. Showing up is visually seeing you as the artist. I want you all to try and really, really remember that. My strongest social branding cue is seeing me. It's not my font, it's not my logo, it's not my aesthetic. It is seeing you as a human. And in 2025, when there is so much artificial intelligence, making fake hair photos, making fake videos, fake reviews, whatever it is, we as a consumer really struggle to know what's real. But the thing that they can't fake is you. And that's why it's your superpower. And it absolutely goes hand in hand with our industry. You are touching someone's head. That requires a human and human connection. Especially a new client looking at you. This is the most powerful way of building that trust before they've sat in your chair. It's all about them realizing that is the person who's going to be touching my head. So being in the service-based industry, in an intimate service that we provide, this is absolutely a unique selling point or a unique advantage we have as business owners, that we actually can utilize the power of personal branding. And that's something I want you guys to get familiar with. Showing up or being in this industry and using social media marketing, you're actually playing in personal branding. And that is relevant if you are, you're tuning into this live because you own a salon or if you're an independent artist. Either way, we are in human to human, facing a client marketing business. So that's why it works. And it works way better than any other visual cue. The visual cue of seeing you as a human is the thing that's going to work. So I hope that's given you the pep talk of why we need to show up. Because it works, End of the day, all these efforts come back to our livelihood for ourselves and our family. And this is the most powerful way to actually control that and influence that, is showing up. So we know it's important, but there's things holding us back, right? We know we need to do it, but we don't know how to get over that hurdle of being insecure and worried about showing up. And I probably would say the biggest thing that's holding you back from actually showing up is because you're worried about what people think, who probably don't matter. Most of the time when I break down to my clients, why aren't you showing up? They kind of start spiraling about worrying about if people think, that they're trying too hard, what will people think? And as soon as you break down those people that they're thinking about, they're not their customer. They're not people's opinions of people that actually are going to be their customer. So one of the first things you need to do when you're going to start taking it seriously and start showing up is doing a bit of a mindset and social cleanse so that you are showing up to the people that matter, the people that aren't going to judge you, aren't going to make you feel like, insecure and worried or judged. We are showing up to your clients, your customers, and the people that want to hear from you. And we are not worrying about people from high school or our competitors or an ex-staff member that's left. Those people are not your customer. So we need to get them out of our head when we are showing up. So how do you do that? We can absolutely set up some things in your Instagram to make sure that when you're showing up, you are thinking of that customer and you're not thinking of that person, because let's say, by doing these things, they are actually probably going to be seeing your content. So firstly, you need to audit who's following you, and you need to audit who you are following. I guarantee you that you, as your Instagram account, your salon Instagram account as well, I bet you're following probably more hairdressers than you are actual clients. And do we need to be consuming all of that? Don't get me wrong, I think this industry is incredible for the community it's created in terms of B2B, hairdressers to hairdressers, we're inspiring each other, networking, connecting. It's incredible. But if you're not in the right mindset for that, it can absolutely make you spiral and stop you from showing up. So if you feel like that is probably one of the factors of why you aren't showing up, because you're comparing yourself to others, we need to declutter that list of people you're comparing yourself to. So it's not malicious. It is all about just making sure you're in the right mindset to show up to the right person. So I will take my own business for an example. When I first started my business, so 3 years ago now, I came from corporate social media in the hair industry. And I was very nervous about what they would think. I'd left a company and gone and started out my own. So of course, when I first started, I was worried about maybe some people, what they would think. If they were judging me, that they would be watching me. So for me, the thing that worked really, really well is making sure they're taking those people out from who was following me. And making sure when I was showing up, I was thinking about my dream clients, the ones that are tuning into this live right now, and not thinking about the person that wasn't going to be paying my bills. So I absolutely did this exercise when I first started, and it absolutely really ripped off that band-aid of worrying about showing up. So it's such a good thing to do, and really just helps you keep stepping forward. And this is something you might need to do, in different stages of your life. There might be other reasons why, you might need to do a continuous kind of mute or unfollow or just remove from seeing content from certain people. And that's absolutely fine. We need to get used to being conscious of what we're scrolling and how certain content makes us feel. If I come across something that makes me feel like I spiral into over-comparing, self-doubting, I'm very conscious of that and I make an action. I will mute or I'll unfollow. Maybe I'll just mute for a little bit. Maybe it's just a small stage in my life where I need to mute that, but I do those measures to make sure it doesn't affect what I'm doing. So absolutely, first thing you need to do is go through who you're following, go through who's following you, look at who's looking at your stories. Is there people in there that make you feel uncomfortable or make you feel like, I just don't think they're cheering me on. I think they're watching, but they're not cheering me on. Take them out. If they're not going to be a customer, what does it matter? Take them out. Mute them from your story. You don't have to do the whole, completely remove them as a follower, but you can absolutely just mute them from seeing your story. So you just limit that dialogue in your brain. So this is a great checklist of all the different kind of mindset things you can do that are going to help you feel like Instagram is a safe and creative space for you. It's also got some tips around utilizing your time on Instagram to create and not scroll. Because again, there's so much time wasting on social media, where people are scrolling and scrolling, comparing and comparing, and not actually working on their business. So I challenge you to think, when you are on Instagram, are you working on your business, or are you just scrolling and comparing? Is it entertainment, or is it education, or is it marketing? That is so important. So, you guys tuning in now, absolutely, hands down, hats off to you, because you are working on your business. You aren't just scrolling through, looking at competitors and mindlessly flicking. You are consuming education and learning and growing for your business. So congrats. So again, if you want this checklist, just comment "show up" and you will get this checklist along with the next few slides I'll take you through to your inbox, and you can tick it off and make sure you do all these steps that I talk through in this document. So we've done the cull, the cleanse. We are now in a better mindset of not being worried about who is going to be looking at our content and judging us. We are thinking about that ideal customer and showing up to them, that customer that has been loyal to you, always replies to your stories, always cheering you on. We are thinking of her and we are showing up for her or him. And this is the starting point. So this is where you need to start if you are a beginner, if you have just started your journey in showing up. And that is in stories. So stories is the least intimidating space to show up. Everyone in general just finds it, a little less scary because it's not permanent. It's that 24 hours. It can be a bit more real. It can be a bit more organic. So absolutely, for the first time you're starting to show up in content, this is the place you should start. Now, when I say show up, remember, it doesn't necessarily mean talking. Showing up means seeing a bit of you. So I want you to start by first just showing up in images and showing up in mirror selfies. As stylists, the most easiest way you guys can show up is to take a mirror selfie. It takes no time. You film it, you take the photo in app. You don't fuss around with editing it or any of that. You shoot and post. And you post that to your stories, and there's our visual cue. There is our branding cue to your clients that, hey, that's my hairdresser. Remember, when you are competing with everyone else's space, everyone else's feeds, people are mindlessly scrolling. And the thing that gets them out of that mindless scroll is connecting the business to the person. So when they see you, they go, oh, that's my hairdresser. That's right. You become front of mind. And it's that instant visual branding trigger that I'm going to tune in and listen to this because I value this business and I value this person. So that's that kind of mental dialogue of what's going on to why that works. So showing up in stories. Number one, we're going to start with just showing up in imagery. So images of you, it could be mirror selfies, it could be any kind of variation of a photo of you. But you want it to be raw and real. You don't want it to be overly polished. It doesn't have to be headshots or anything like that. Next stage, also on top of that, it could be your point of view. So it could be a bird's eye shot of you holding something, your point of view of your coffee. Just having the element of a human hand in your content is a human connection, human to human cue that is going to trigger your audience to go, hey, that's my hairdresser. And that is going to stop the thumb from scrolling or make them pause and hold down and watch that story and maybe read the text that you've placed on it. So you can absolutely do more point of view stuff, which again is less scary. It's not so my face being shown. Mirror selfies are great though because you can cover a bit of your face if you need to or want to get started. The whole goal is though, we are starting here as a starting point and we're going to slowly move through bigger areas or placements where you're going to be once you build your confidence up, we're going to show up as a human even more and richer and in more engaging ways. So first up, we've done imagery. Next up is videos and stories. So once you feel comfortable with doing some photos of yourself in stories, you then want to start doing some videos. So this could be more vlog style. It could be more B-roll content. It could be you working, documenting your day, set up a tripod, just show a little snippet of you working on a color client. Show yourself, cleaning the salon. It's that B-roll, like background video of documenting what you're already doing, but we're seeing you in the content. That's the difference. We're seeing a human doing something. So again, your face doesn't totally have to be in it. You don't have to be looking at the camera completely, but you do want to see a human. So that's a great another extension of seeing a human and connecting with you and getting a little bit more of an idea of who you are and what your life looks like. That's what video stories are going to do. Then the third step in terms of showing up in stories would be to start talking in content in your stories. So we're still not doing feed yet. This is still pretty, less scary because it's in your stories. But the third most, advanced in story placement would be talking to the camera. And look, this requires exposure. It requires some prompts, and that's what you get inside my Scale Your Stories course. So if you are looking for starters to how to talk in your stories, what can you be talking about? What scripts do I say? What do I say to the camera straight away? Absolutely, my Scale Your Stories course is what you need because you are going to get those prompts. But again, you want to shoot it in the Instagram app, in stories. You want to keep it short. We're not doing any millennial pauses where we breathe in the camera in that first 2 seconds and lose their attention. We're going straight to the point. We're not talking about what we're going to talk about. We just talk about it. So that's a big mistake people make in stories. They go, hey guys, just jumping on here to talk about. That whole sentence, don't need. You want to go straight to, I want to talk about this topic, or does this bother anyone today? Straight to your point. You don't need to introduce it. You just get on with it. So all these strategies around how you can make talking in front of the camera short, sharp, and engaging, they're all in the Scale Your Stories course. Next up, I want to talk about, once you've mastered talking in stories, and you've also committed to how often you're doing it. So we might say you were talking in your stories once or twice a week. You don't have to do it every day, but at least a commitment of a consistency, because consistency unlocks growth. Consistent habits make things ingrained in your lifestyle and easy to do. That's just how it works. So if you are committed to consistently showing up in your stories and build up that momentum of images, videos, talking, you are going to build confidence. I guarantee you. Absolutely. That's how I've done it. That's how my clients do it. It works. So once you feel like I'm nailing this, I'm doing it, it's not going to feel, confidence isn't something you just feel straight away. It's a challenge. Once you achieve a challenge and you do it, you're hungry for the next one. So your next challenge is the intermediate. So intermediate is when we start showing up in feed content. So again, showing up in feed content, so your feed post to your grid, doesn't mean talking yet. It means just seeing you. So we want to see a mixture of seeing you in your space. It could be polished headshots if you want. It could be some of those selfies that you're taking in stories and you just put them in a cute little carousel of like day in the life. It doesn't have to be overthought, doesn't have to be photoshopped, but we see you. Again, think about your ideal customer scrolling through their feed. What's going to stop them and make them go, hey, that's my hairdresser? It's seeing you. It's not necessarily seeing hair. It's absolutely not seeing a Canva tile, saying a hair tip. That doesn't have any social cues that that post is associated with you. So that's why we need to see you, because it correlates to your brand, it correlates back to your business and gets your customer, your follower, thinking of your business. So feed content, absolutely. We want to see you in carousels and we also want to see you in videos. B-rolls are great for this. And a lot of this content can come out of stories. It's just getting you to that point where you're like, hey, I can post this to my feed. Absolutely. That's what's working. That's what's going to get engagement and get them to stop scrolling. So that is what you need to focus on there. And then the advanced section, the last one in terms of, the ultimate goal of showing up on socials would be what I'd call talking head videos, where we're posting you talking to your grid and also doing lives like what I'm doing right now. That is the ultimate goal of making sure you're showing up as a human to human marketing, is seeing you talking to the camera in feed posts and in lives. So that's the stage I'm at, which is pretty cool. I probably could do a lot more talking head videos. If you don't know what I mean by talking head, you probably want to become a subscriber of mine, because I do have a tutorial that steps you through exactly how to make a talking head video. But basically it's usually a green screen behind you and you are talking about a topic. But it's very good in terms of having authority on the topic, having credibility in your niche, and it really does cement your confidence in terms of being a go-to hairdresser who knows their shit. So absolutely, it's one of those things that you have to, warm yourself up to. So if you follow this plan of going from stories to feed to that advanced, you will be at that stage where you can start doing it. So that's where I'm at for my business. I do lives. I do them probably once a month, just like now. I do talking head videos. I do, as a goal for my own business, I want to do more of those this year because I know it works. It gets my point across. And remember, especially if you're playing in the education field, but everyone should be, because we are educating our clients every day on hair. But it is such a trustworthy way to educate. And the way you say something is going to stick because they trust you. It doesn't matter that you've seen someone else talk about the topic before. It's the way that you deliver it that actually gets them to actually finally understand something. That's really important to know too. That's why it's so important for you to deliver that message. So in terms of how you're going to do this, in terms of go from beginner to intermediate to advanced, absolutely, I have education that really covers this. So like I mentioned before, my Scale Your Stories course is your beginner course to start showing up. Your intermediate course is my Video Academy, because it's going to teach you the filming and editing techniques you need to show up in the camera in feed content. And then my Social Suite bundle offer is the one you want in terms of making sure you're learning how there's advanced techniques to talk in front of the camera and give you things like voiceover scripts. So I've included actual scripts to do voiceovers so that you have that showing up element as well in those types of videos. So a little bit of detail around the Social Suite. It is a 5-part course. It has 5 courses bundled up for one price. So I have been working very hard for the last 3 years to build up a portfolio of courses. I now have 5, and now it's given me the ability to create this bundle offer where you get access to all 5 of those for a very discounted price. So it's the best value, and it's the ultimate suite because it's going to include everything you need. Also, right now, for the filming of this live, I do have a 30-day challenge happening, which is pretty hand in hand with showing up. So I am pretty amazed by this community. It only launched last week, so there's still some spaces left if you want to be challenged and be held accountable to make sure you show up and follow this journey. And oh my God, last night my challenges had to all post an About Me post, and they are incredible. Honestly, you should see the diversity, the storytelling, the connection they are making through these posts, where they are showing up as a human and engaging with their clients, and they're getting incredible results. Some of them have said literally that they are getting double the engagement that they usually do with a post. So a great example of how showing up has done that, and how being in that community environment, a challenge environment, has really got them to that spot. If you just want to dip your toes in, you're not ready to go the full throttle of the Social Suite and the challenge, absolutely, Scale Your Stories is a great course to start. It's only $89, so it's a mini course. It's very simple, digestible, but great just entry level to get yourself going. But again, if you want this freebie with all those checklists of how you're going to go about showing up, where to start, mindset, what content to be posting, the framework you need to actually do this, just comment on this live with that word show up and you'll get this to your inbox as well. So thank you guys. I hope you've learned something and been inspired. If you need any more support, I am here. Just DM me. But can't wait to see your beautiful faces in your beautiful salons and seeing your incredible, you as a human and an artist on the grid and on my stories. So happy posting. Thanks, guys.